Hey everybody, welcome back to Hermitage Case Files. And how lucky are you, audience? You're going to get a third video on Wednesday because I forgot to record this before work. So I'm recording it after work and it's going to come out later than I had anticipated. It's admittedly not in my calendar if you got into my About section, but I have variety Wednesday morning. I think I'm going to try and reserve this game for the Wednesday morning slot every single time. Unless something spectacular comes out that I have to play. I've put Isaac in for now, and I'll put this later on in the day. So this should come out late on Wednesday if everything goes right. Anyway, to get into the episode, what went on last time? We discovered that Cecile and her friend Eloise had been burning like an incense. I think it was called lilac grass. And that was what brought about her visions first time round. And that's kind of where we got with it. We didn't really get much else off Cecile. We do have case files now with multiple different clues in it, from like hair. So her visions reflect the past, and Cecile's decision. She didn't want to stand in Eloise's way, who stood up for her, to avoid any further trouble, so she decided to just be alone. But additionally to that, we also met up with a man, and we don't know anything about the man. He just came into the bookstore, knew stuff about our past, and told us to just, sell these books. But the books in question are all, like, occultic type things. A lot of the stuff is, like, mythos-based, like Cthulhu-esque. And I presume that we're going to find more and more books which help explain what's going on here. Let's get into this. I should quit smoking, or my brain cells will die too soon. He must have come prepared. In just 2 days, the amount of overlapping coincidences has increased so much that I can no longer ignore it. There's a lot of dangerous information in these books that cannot be allowed to fall into the wrong hands. How ignorant do you have to be to just hand them over? What's his goal? Now isn't the time to dwell on it too much. I should accept things for what they are at the moment. Okay. I don't think I've got anything else to do on this page right now, so let's just finish work and keep on with the narrative. Next day, I think. Oh no, just night time. Can we go on the internet forums again? We can. Before I can settle into my chair, the phone in my pocket starts ringing. Aha, it's Scarlet again. Oh my god. Is this all today? How about tomorrow? Yeah, anyway. Sorry, history. Phoenix High absolutely has a problem. I went to their management to check out their records. It's pure chaos. Just mountains upon mountains of paper. In addition, the Young Artists Association has submitted several requests to the Department of Education. There have been 17 requests in March alone. Okay, so Scarlet is getting us information on the inside. It must be something really important. That's way too much correspondence for some regular topic. Do you have any more details? Not at the moment, no. I'll have a look at the list of files later. Also, I'm meeting up with some old friends from the department. It's more convenient to go through the filing cabinets at night. That method sounds unethical. So you've got a better idea? Nah, I give up. Your way it is. You owe me a favour. Of course. Anything you need. Let's leave it at that then. Let's talk about the other thing tomorrow morning. If you have the time. You mean the files? Yeah. I'll update you on what I can find, and we can figure out the rest then. What's the hurry? You can't go out anyway, so you'll be my advisor. No problem. I'll have a look at everything tomorrow morning. Okay, talk to you then. Nice. Exit the phone. So the president of the Elite Art Club is right. Phoenix High School isn't as perfect as its long-standing reputation makes it out to be. According to Scarlet, there were some incidents at the beginning of the year that attracted the attention of the Department of Education, and even prompted calls for disciplinary action. Don't know why I struggled saying that. Even the Young Artists Association is involved in this. So could the bad atmosphere at Cecile's art club be related to this? Does what she saw actually have something to do with these incidents? Since we've made an appointment to meet up tomorrow, I shouldn't stay up too late. Something about that guy doesn't seem right. If it were anybody else, I could talk myself into thinking it was a coincidence, but every move this guy in the trench coat makes seems suspicious. Next time he comes to the store, maybe he's just trying making a joke or something. It's easy to seem passive and pretend not to suspect anything that way. I should accept his good intentions for now, and see what happens. Internet time! Ooh, how are things at Phoenix High School? Something new? What was the original chime of the Clockwork Tower called? We have new messages in that. The room was now open. Obey the rules or die. Pretty aggressive still. Alright, let's see what this is about. So we read this last time, didn't we? So there's more reports on this, I believe. They wanted to play the Master Hemritage tune for her, so when did they change it back? I don't think the current melody is as good as that one. Answer to Raven. Many people thought it wasn't fitting to play a British tune, so they asked for it to be changed. Someone's been paying attention in history classes? Okay, was that it? Sure. Alright, let's see how the things are at Phoenix High School. The main focus of discussion strikes me as strange. However, at least it confirms that the school is far from perfect. For Juliet. I saw a news section about bullying yesterday and grew a little concerned. My relative's daughter studies at Phoenix High School. We used to be quite close, but she's kind of stopped talking to me over the last 2 years. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that she spends most of her time in the school, and we have fewer opportunities to see each other. Do you have friends or family who are familiar with this kind of situation? Every now and then, I feel like something might have happened and I'm a little worried. Isn't that a private school? I hear it's pretty common there. I'm not one of your big city people, but even I've heard of the school before. It's pretty famous. If there really weren't a problem like that, would it have come up a long time ago? Ceres. Anyway, what do you have to do with the relative's daughter? Picking up the phone. Suspicion. Report it. Answer to the second comment. I live pretty close to Phoenix High School, and I often see students heading out to go shopping after school, or getting picked up on the weekends. They're always looking down their nose at other people, like they think they're better than everyone else. Hello, Bessie. Are you saying hello? Are you joining the investigation, co-host? One of the rare Betty sightings. LF18. Money breeds arrogance meme.jpg. Well, can I click it? No. I don't know how to say your username. It's quite bad, actually. There have been reports of students beating up other students for the last 2 years. It's just that the parents don't usually want to make a big fuss about it, so they deal with it quietly. Diablo. It's becoming more and more common these days for high achievers to develop psychological issues. Being stressed out like that really isn't a joke. As your flame. Answer the fourth comment. I think Juliet means she's like a sister to her. Is this common to have, forums like this? Not a reply to the comment and, the nested exchanges? Very weird way of doing things. And then Madness Ceres. Where was Ceres' thing? Ah, okay. I see. The suspicion alert. I think that's everything. Yeah. Alright. Peace out. Let's watch the TV. There's an animal documentary on the Discovery Channel. This episode is about killer whales. Much of the programme's material is comprised of research collected on killer whales by scientists from all over the world. There's a lot of interesting information regarding their social interaction with each other. It's a really good show. And we've added more to the relationship tree. So, we have... Is this Mystery Man? How do we do this again? We zoom in, right? Zoom in? Okay, I just don't have any information, I guess. Okay. We have Scarlet. So, female, she's 30 apparently, master's degree lawyer, Zhang Zhou. Sanity status 0, interesting. Chief legal consultant at Golden Maxim law firm, she has a good reputation around town. If she changed her lifestyle, she would have accumulated considerable wealth by now. However, she handles her purse as outgoing as suits her character. She handles her purse as outgoing as suits her character. Don't quite get what that means. I'm still there, nighttime. We now have Eloise over here. Okay. I don't think there's anything else on this, really. And this was the phone. Okay. I don't need case files to end the day. Wednesday the 18th. The drowsiness finally fades away and the girl takes a slow, deep breath as she returns to the room. The feeling of being back on solid ground weighs heavy on her stomach, but the girl is able to hide it for now. Are you sure we're doing this right? Her small frame leans against the wall for balance, and she still seems a little confused. She struggles to control her expression and makes herself look a little more determined. It's hard for you too. Even just wanting to catch some fresh air at this school comes at a cost. At least the incense gives you some peace of mind, she thinks, but she can't say it out loud. You look out for me. I'm used to pranks and I don't want a close friend like you to suffer. If you continue to put up with it, they'll just keep on doing it. I'm worried about you. If you don't hold on until next year, it will all be for nothing. Is the competition really that important? There's no use in making noise and attracting attention now, is there? We need absolute proof, and until we have it, we just have to stay put. I know, but I'm still a little... Besides, I want to spend more time with you. Is this the perspective of some sort of creature, like some ethereal creature talking to the student? Those words make both of their faces flush a little. Speaking of which, your birthday's coming up soon, right? Finally, one of them breaks the silence. The light is dim, and she can't make out more than a faint glow. Yeah, that's right. A bright smile breaks the awkward tension in the room. I'm sorry. I didn't prepare anything for your birthday, but... That's not your fault. I didn't even tell you when my birthday was. Anyway, I hope you're looking forward to your birthday present. A surprise? She immediately starts wondering about what it could possibly be. About that, if I ask you a question, will you answer truthfully? Sure, what is it? It's really simple. She stands up and approaches her, looking her straight into the eyes. Are you really doing all this for my sake? The girl turns around and hugs herself. Even outside the hallucination, that spark behind the eyes is a mystery she has never quite managed to understand. Walking the same path has turned it into somewhat of a shared obsession buried deep within. That last glimpse made her shiver. It's like dancing on the tip of a knife. I didn't have to wait long for Scarlet. What a weird exchange. We really need to get down to that school. Okay. I had a little too much to drink last night. She crawls into the store with a weary expression as if she was close to death. We've all been there, Scarlet. Whoa there. Looks like you were hogging all the bottles and didn't leave anything for your drinking buddies. As she comes closer, I catch a whiff of makeup. Staying up late is excusable, but I don't think it makes sense that she used that much makeup to cover the bags under her eyes. Seeing my expression, Scarlet leans grumpily against the bookcase. I spend my days and nights drowning in wine while putting on a fake smile. Altogether small tidbits of information for the people in charge. And this is the thanks I get? I rub my nose, embarrassed. As always, you can be counted on at such a critical moment. She gives me a satisfied, victorious smirk, like a child who has the upper hand in an argument. Doesn't look like she's going to change her habits anytime soon. Okay. I mean, I don't think there's going to be anything else on the bookshelf, right? Yeah, that's still the same. Alright, converse. So, what did you find out yesterday? It's kind of difficult. As I mentioned yesterday, the Department of Education, the Association of Young Artists, and Phoenix High School communicated a lot last semester. The correspondence between them has been unusually frequent. Generally speaking, the school itself can initiate administrative penalty sanctions against a student. The administrative bodies outside of the school do not usually interfere, as long as everything is in line with the school's rules and regulations. Superiors getting involved in the process is somewhat of a taboo, as it would imply the school was doing something wrong. But this time is different. Yes, in this case sanctions were withdrawn multiple times. I can't help but swallow, even though my mouth is as dry as a desert. And the initiator of the sanction wasn't even Phoenix High School, it was just a substitute. Bessie, did you have to go into the cables? Did you have to go into the cables? Of all the places you could go into this office, you immediately went for the cables, didn't you? What a little rascal. Is that even allowed? The school has to follow certain rules and regulations after all. That's exactly the point. She takes out a stack of paper that appears to be confidential documents. There are various headlines, but the words withdrawal and notification appear often and stick out like a sore thumb. Are you okay down there? In March, the Young Artists Association repeatedly asked authorities to monitor Phoenix High School and take disciplinary action against the students, but they always withdrew their requests. It's a constant back and forth. They withdraw their request, then make a new recommendation, and so on. A classic delaying tactic. So the Young Artists Association keeps pressuring Phoenix High School to take disciplinary action, but is being hindered by bureaucratic obstacles. It isn't the only association. Many other local schools, universities, and institutions are involved as well, which makes it so hard to fathom. So the public outrage. It would be hard for anyone to stand their ground with such spectacles like this. Then again, the whole situation says a lot. Two things in particular seem strange to me. What could the students at Phoenix High have done to get everyone so riled up? Scarlet doesn't seem surprised. It's a fairly obvious question. She rubs her forehead and starts explaining the situation to me. The Young Artists Association focus on industry exchanges. They are mainly active in nearby provinces and usually aren't in contact with regular universities. If they do get in contact, it's because of an annual competition. The one that caused so much controversy last year. Seems like you've done your homework. You're right. It was a pretty big thing last year. A watercolour piece called Blossoms made first place in the painting category. But it turns out that the artist, Lily, actually took credit for someone else's work. Ah, that's... You mean she put her own name on someone else's work and submitted it? That reminds me of a saying I once heard. Borrowed flowers wither fast. If that piece hadn't won the competition, it wouldn't have caused so much of a scandal. But instead, it was exactly the type of ammunition certain parties needed to apply pressure to the school and make demands. The other participating schools were just as eager to win and wouldn't let something like this slide. Scarlet nods. Although it's unclear how the lie was uncovered in the first place, these documents show that there is a strong desire for disciplinary action, giving them more than enough reason to demand a rerun of the competition. Actually, that seems to be the goal. People love to hand out punishments, as long as they're not on the receiving end. The organisers as well as the participants are applying pressure, so it looks like it's a done deal. Oh. See you later, Bessie. Sorry, I just scared her then. Playing around with cables again. The disciplinary action was eventually revoked, but they re-evaluated the award. It was impossible for Phoenix High to maintain its ranking. That sounds plausible. So Lily is a member of the art club? That's right. She was the club president before Eloise took over her position. I see. If the club president gets into trouble like that, it reflects badly on the other students. That must have led to a lot of tension between them. Probably. A roof wouldn't hold if the foundation is crumbling after all. With the last student representative involved in such a scandal, it's becoming increasingly important to find out what exactly has been going on behind the scenes of the art club. You're absolutely right, which is why I'll be going straight to Phoenix High School this afternoon. What? I actually consume less cigarettes. Luckily enough, I'm not one of those bookstore owners who have the habit of drinking a lot of tea, or else I would have spat it out like a geyser just now. Isn't that a little too drastic? How would someone her age blend into a school? I can see Scarlet shooting a smug look from behind the sunglasses. I'm a talented enough actor to play the role of a mother. This is the first time I've seen someone being so proud of their age like that. I can try and help, but I can't guarantee the outcome. What makes you think I need your help? I've got this. She helps me push back a big hardcover book that was about to squeeze its way out of the bookshelf. While I was doing research yesterday, I decided that I just had to check the whole thing out for myself. This is something big, isn't it? That is a simple matter of a fraud could have... Sorry, just flipping every single line now. That a simple matter of fraud could have had so many twists and turns. It's important to get to the bottom of it and uncover what the school is hiding. That seems to be Scarlet's main goal. You should be fine. Well, with your amazing acting skills. But what's the catch? You might not be able to tell from the outside of the school, but I had a hard time dealing with their administration at first. So I did some digging online, and managed to find a lead on a couple of social media platforms. All you have to do is look for a verified account with real name, authentication, and check out the list of users who follow it. It's really simple. I have a hard time following what she's saying. Anyway, here's how we should proceed. Okay, do I do thoughts then? I should quit smoking, yeah. No wonder Cecile felt such a strange atmosphere within the art club. Regardless of whoever's responsible, the club has lost its championship due to internal conflicts. I think this is the same as last time. Oh no, it's not. I fluffed up. As direct result, Eloise took over the position of student representative from Lily. Did she gain power after the conflict, or did she become a replacement simply because someone had to take the fall? Either way, it's highly likely she was involved somehow. Scarlet had made her opinion clear. Alright. Let's go to the next stage then. And I can rehydrate. It didn't take Scarlet much effort to get into the school. Working in a public institution taught Scarlet just how fragile the barriers actually are, and how easily they can be overcome. Whereas in TV dramas, it's the system itself that is the obstacle. The best approach is to trick the people in charge of upholding the barriers. Real life is a lot less action-packed than TV dramas, and the key is not to draw unnecessary attention. The plan is very simple, and old school. Pretend to be a parent and make up a student's name on the fly. Checking in at the front gate is the first hurdle that has to be overcome when entering the school. Visitors have to register so they can be easily contacted should any problems arise. Two things are checked: the visitor's identity and the reason for their visit. This is done in the hopes of avoiding problems in the first place, instead of having to do damage control afterwards. Scarlet forthcomingly shows the guard at the door her ID, and jots down her phone number. Her behaviour makes the doorman feel at ease, and not suspect anything. Sure, there are a lot of rules in place, but nobody follows all of them to the letter. It's easy to take advantage of that. Scarlet experienced that time and time again over the course of her professional career, so taking this small hurdle is like second nature to her. Wow, this place is huge. Along the way, she has a look at the dormitories and classroom buildings. It's bizarre to see how much money parents are willing to invest in their child's education. There's nothing inherently wrong with that, but they're not doing it for the sake of the kid's future, but for the social prestige that comes with being associated with a school like this. The club building is furthest from the school gate. Red tiles cover the exterior. The art club is on the second floor and occupies a large classroom at the middle of the corridor. Scarlet chose this particular time because most social events and activities are scheduled in the afternoon. Only 2 students were in the classroom. Luckily, Scarlet made preparations the day before, or else the classroom would have been completely empty, and she would have returned from this investigation empty-handed. I'm in position. Ready to go? Don't you dare leave me hanging here. She's directly connected to the store manager, who's far away in another corner of the city. These types of technological advancements has made investigations so much easier than they used to be back in the day. After sending the message, Scarlet uses her phone as an improvised mirror to check her reflection. Slightly dark circles under her eyes, not quite perfect, just the way she wanted it. Everything's ready. Hello there. I hope I didn't keep you waiting too long. The two students looked startled and quickly put away their tools. Although it's unclear what they were planning to do with the screwdriver that was lying at the edge of the desk just a moment ago, Scarlet pretends that she didn't see anything. Note the weapon on the desk. Are you the person I spoke to yesterday, miss? Yes, indeed. I was worried you two wouldn't take this seriously. No. Of course we do. Are you kidding? If the association's doing a follow-up investigation, we'll cooperate. And, we didn't tell the teachers, just like you asked. This, stays between us? Despite the final sanction being withdrawn, Phoenix High School received a stern warning by the Young Artists Association. Pretending to be an employee at the association, Scarlet secretly contacted two students from the art club to question them in person. He might cause some suspicion later on, but at least for now, her cover seems to be holding up. Scarlet is immersed in her role, intent on maintaining her fake identity. I will inform your school again after the investigation is completed. Don't worry. Well, the competition. The long-haired girl seemed a little anxious, and her classmate quietly pulls on her sleeve. Needless to say, your help is much appreciated. I owe you a favour. Scarlet noticed both of the girls' eyes flash at this. Time to break the ice and loosen these two up a little. You see, I have a daughter, and she wants to transfer to Phoenix High too. She really likes to draw, so she expressed a lot of interest in the community activities here. I came here today to talk to you two about the situation, and find out more about this art club my daughter keeps talking about. Are there any activities scheduled for today? Maybe I can sneak a peek. Sure, but they're in the afternoon. Oh gosh, that's too bad. My migraine always flares up in the afternoon. Most activities are scheduled for the afternoon, lady. That's how it works. Lady? Scarlet keeps herself from raising her eyebrows at this. She maintains her composure and steers the conversation back in the right direction. I see. Too bad. I'd have liked to have seen it for myself. Anyway, let's get back to the point then, shall we? The two of them look at each other and nod. Time to get this investigation started for real. Scarlet takes out her phone and pretends to open the notepad app. Let's see. There are a few things I'd like to know. Oh, it's finally starting. When they said that the store manager was in a part of the city, I was expecting him like in a coffee shop somewhere, using their Wi-Fi or something, trying to be hidden. He's in the fucking store he works at. Why didn't he just say he was still at the store? By now, Scarlet has probably met the students she has established contact with. This could lead to a world of trouble afterwards. But hey, drastic times, drastic measures. Her hidden earpiece hasn't been discovered yet. Looks like everything's going according to plan for now. Alright, here we go. What should I ask them? Ask about the current state of the art club. Ask about the changes in the club over the past 6 months. Ask about the club members. Ask about Lily's whereabouts. How's your classmate Lily? Have you heard from her? It should be fairly obvious, but Lily's entry into competition was a pretty dark moment in Phoenix High's history. What is their relationship to the former president like? Scarlet isn't sure if it's a touchy subject for two students. Let's try to push some answers. Sometimes you can't hold back. High risk, high reward. The girls exchange a strange look. Now, I don't mean anything by it, but it seems like they're a little bit reluctant to talk about her. I just want to understand the situation a little better. That way I can judge if the association's way of handling their school was appropriate. We don't really know much about the specific circumstances. She stopped coming to the art club during the midterms last semester. I think she said something about preparing for exams at home. I remember that. That was probably her only option after the whole fiasco. After her being exposed as a cheat, she couldn't stay in the club as if nothing had happened, Her family probably came up with some excuse to switch her to homeschooling. You think so? Her family had a lot of influence, and I'm sure of it. If we ever asked for something like that, the school would refuse it in a heartbeat. The long-haired student unconsciously touches her neck, which is a typical nervous gesture when people lie. The other student seems more sincere, never shying away from eye contact with me. So, that's what happened. Looks like Lily has left the school, but things aren't as simple as the two are making them out to be. Scarlet takes mental notes of what was said. Okay. I mean, do I need to be taking mental notes? Surely the guy at Hermitage can hear this. Let's ask about changing the club over the last 6 months. Come to think of it, some club members have graduated since last year, and you have a new representative now, right? That's right. I hear there's been a lot going on. Really? There were a lot of rumours going around concerning the change of representatives, but things have been quite quiet since then. We're lucky to have found a new representative so quickly. We're going to take our chance this year and try to win for real this time. That's good to hear. Were any additional measures taken? I'm sure there's a lot of pressure on your school to make sure things run smoothly this time. I don't know if I'd really describe them as measures. What are you referring to? I'm talking about the membership requirements. Admission criteria, you know? Although I'm not sure if that's what you wanted to know. Sure, tell me more. Well, it's not a big thing really. The school's been trying to keep the clubs active for a long time now. Starting this semester, many clubs no longer have assessment tests as a requirement to join up. As long as the students want to participate, the clubs are obliged to accept their application. Everyone was really busy at the beginning of the year, and when the time came, this term's recruitment period was already over, meaning our art club wasn't really affected by the change. There's only one exception, a transfer student who was accepted immediately after handing in her application. The teachers are probably patting themselves on the back for finding such a good role model. Hey, watch it! What's wrong with the transfer student? Sorry, I didn't mean anything by it. The whole situation just had everyone a little anxious and uncomfortable at the start of term. Sounds like you don't have it easy. Such a decision should have been a community vote. But maybe I'm just being too idealistic. It's respectable that you think that way even after dealing with our school in our city for such a long time. With the schools in our city, sorry. Well, the longer you're in business, the more you just want things to go smoothly. That would save me trips like this in the future. If I'd had the choice, I would have stayed at home on my couch watching TV. The girls smile at Scarlet. Her casual tone seems to resonate with them. Right, shall we ask about the current state of the art club? I think we will. So, how many events do you organise per week? There are actually 2 activity sessions per week. Both of them are in the afternoon. However, our studios are open and free to use until the school ends. If someone happens to have a free period, they can just drop by and use this classroom, as long as they clean up after themselves. Oh, so much freedom. Seems like Mr. Tran really trusts you. Scarlet sneaks in the teacher's name to further establish her credibility. She seems to be on the right track. That being said, students rarely take advantage of that. After all, everyone has classes in the morning, and in the afternoon there are only a few. Not many students stick around. So how are things going? You've probably started preparing for this year's competition by now. Oh, we're taking things a little slow. It's pretty relaxed. We are still students after all. The teachers don't pressure us too much. We're just practicing our skills. The usual stuff. The subject matter is all up to us. 2. We can draw whatever we want. The students' shallow words are most likely supposed to reinforce the image of a relaxed, free atmosphere within the art club. However, one look at the excessive amount of canvases and turpentine lying around is enough to see through their charade. I know it seems strange for someone in my position to say this, but even with all of the last year's problems, our association still has high hopes for your school this year. It's okay. You're just doing your job, right? The teacher doesn't take the initiative when it comes to taking care of us. Whenever we seek advice, he's always there. Don't worry, we'll win for sure this year. The confidence seems fake. If anything, they both seem indifferent when it comes to the competition. The students' words sound like those of a winner, even though there's a clear lack of motivation. Scarlet tries not to let these distractions get to her. Well then, I'm looking forward to it. Alright, club members. Sorry I have to ask this, but how are the relations within the club? How is everyone getting along? After all, with everything that happened last semester, it must be tough, right? We're all doing really well. It didn't affect us. Oh? The girl's eyes are blinking rapidly, unconsciously wandering off to the corner of the classroom. Scarlet doesn't know exactly what they're hiding, but their statement just now sounded insincere. The other girl picks up the conversation again. Yeah, we even hold small competitions here and there. It's fun. She points to a corner of the studio where a number of paintings are displayed. They show how high the level of talent is around here. Many different styles and techniques were applied to these paintings, and they can easily keep up with the works of many grown-up artists today. Wow, that's impressive. Ah. Scarlet's attention is focused on one painting in particular. Even amongst the many other impressive pieces, this one stands out. The whole picture is filled with clouds of flame that burn towards the top of the frame. The scorched earth conveys a feeling of gloom, but a single flower can be seen. Although it looks completely out of place, its radiant beauty overshadows everything else. The eye is automatically drawn to it. The earth spreads out like an ocean beneath the flower. The ink on the paper wasn't exactly applied neatly, but the delicate composition of it all turns into a breathtaking piece of art. Just looking at the painting, Scarlet actually feels like she's on top of a mountain, overlooking the sprawling landscape below her. There's so much to take in. The word blossoms is written in the corner of the canvas. She immediately recognises the name, having seen it a dozen times in documents already. It's the painting that won last year's competition, the root of all the controversy. We didn't know until after the competition was over that the president had been preparing this painting last year. That caught Scarlet's attention. The two of them wouldn't continue to refer to the former student representative as the president in front of the association member, not after everything that happened. Plus, the store manager mentioned that the current representative, Eloise, is the main cause of Cecile's concerns. This is the first time I'm seeing it, to be honest. Is this the level of quality of students your age deliver nowadays? It's something really special. To tell you the truth, we were startled when we first saw it. It's hard to fathom. I'd never even heard of this painting technique before. I'm not really an expert, but this painting is on a professional level, right? Oh, what's this? The bottom left corner of the painting has been ripped. Although it's just been glued back together, it's still noticeable if you pay close enough attention. Oh, that. There was an accident when we were hanging it up. We mended it, so just be careful not to touch it. So that's what happened. Too bad. Your new representative must be quite popular, right? It's an important position after all. Yes. She's totally awesome. I admire her so much. I don't know why I've got a lisp suddenly, but she's got a lisp. Absolutely. Think about it. Talent like that is really rare, isn't it? Their lies couldn't be any more obvious. They're just trying to cover something up. The girl with the short hair hesitates after every word. Scarlet bites her tongue. She can't be sure whether the two really respect their president, but the use of superlatives like that make it obvious they don't mean what they're saying. It's not heartfelt. The president did distance herself when she was preparing the painting. That was a little scary, to be honest. But it's much better now. She's just overly focused sometimes. Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't want anyone disturbing me while I'm doing my homework either. What an embarrassing performance. It's painfully clear how uncomfortable they are at talking about this topic. People who live on their own little world can often seem distant like that. That's probably why many geniuses are so withdrawn. I know people like that too. You shouldn't take it all too seriously. Scarlet takes some mental notes and the conversation comes to an end. Scarlet asks the students some irrelevant questions as well, to seem more believable. She is so good at playing her role that for a second, she actually believes she's working for the association and fully embraces her fake identity. The two students don't suspect a thing, and after this long conversation, they part ways. A familiar voice issues from a small... Okay. Strange sentence here. A familiar voice issues from the small phone she's been carrying in her pocket. Done. I think that's it for today. Well done. Looks like you've still got it. I hadn't expected that. Well, unlike a certain someone, I actually leave the house every once in a while, meaning that I'm perfectly capable of handling social interactions. Ooh. Gonna need a burn heal for that. Anyway, did you at least get something interesting out of it after having me do all this work? Oh yes, most definitely. It's all quite interesting. Strange even. You mean their attitude towards the former student representative? It's more than that. Lily leaving the school raises question in itself. Do you think those two can be trusted? Yes, their eyes didn't lie. It's obvious that they're hiding something, but the things they did talk about were true. Scarlet sounds hesitant. What's bothering you so much? Why do you think it is wrong? The timing when Lily left the school. We don't really know much about the specific circumstances. She stopped coming to the club during midterms last semester. I think she said something about preparing for exams at home. I tried to recall the information Cecile provided. Every February, the USA Cup is the only thing anybody talked about at Phoenix High. We always score well in the competition. The USA Cup starts at the beginning of the semester. Everyone's in full-on working mode and wants to win. Do you remember the date on the documents from the Department of Education? They were all somewhere between March and April. Scarlet replies quickly, which shows that she's keeping up. I'm not keeping up honestly, so I'm glad she is. Generally, midterm exams are conducted about 2 months after the start of the school year, from the end of April to the beginning of May. And all requests were viewed over a month ago, which suggests that they'd received a reply by then. Leaving aside the fact that all disciplinary sanctions from the Young Arts Association were eventually withdrawn, even if they did produce any results, there should have been a response before midterm. Copying someone else's work only to suddenly drop everything a month later seems strange. Things aren't as simple as they seem. Yeah, something seems foul here. The school seems less and less like the image it's trying to uphold. Unrealistic expectations and a yearning for prestige and recognition, but Phoenix High School isn't all it's hyped up to be. We've stumbled upon something big, that's for sure. But shouldn't we focus on the whole thing with Cecile first? Of course, which is why we needed all of this information. Cecile's been struggling with the vision of Eloise. At this point, we probably know more about it all than she does. That's one of the unique advantages of being an outsider. We already know that Cecile has visions of the past events, when she's under the influence of incense, meaning Eloise lying on the ground in a pool of blood is something that already happened. See? I called it! Cecile wants to know the circumstances of this incident, and now we've found something that may be connected to Eloise. Further details are coming to light, and everything seems to be connected somehow. This should help us find out whatever tragedy it was that befell Eloise. At least we have something to work with now. We got lucky. It's hard to do something if you don't believe in it, but in this case, we know something's wrong. From what we know so far, the art competition was a big incident that kicked off everything. The two student representatives must have had a lot of contact in the past. Who knows, maybe there's something else we can dig up. Speaking of which, I have an idea. Oh? One of the two students I met today seems to be using the same ID online all the time. Couldn't hurt to snoop around a little. Sounds like something we can work with. I'm afraid that's it for today. I really have to get back to the office or the boss will have my head. I'll send you the ID later. I need to find a way out of this school first. A little while back, blogs and online diaries were very popular. That's changed quite rapidly ever since social media sites started spreading like wildfire. If those students really are hiding something, they might slip up and leave some kind of trail online. Social media. For me, it's a good thing. I can do huge chunks of my work without leaving the confines of my cozy abode. There are no computers on the ground floor, and I'm not really in a hurry. Kneading my neck and shoulders, which are stiff from holding my phone, I resume the organisation of my books. Oh, we skipped afternoon, I think. Okay, I think I'm going to call it there for this episode. Slowly, things are unravelling. Things I've worked out a few episodes ago, in fact. So, Eloise has probably died already. But it's kind of strange from the perspective that Cecile was talking. It kind of sounded like, she's still been in contact with her. But maybe her staying away, she's just not actually seen her at all. I thought she was just like being in the same room but not talking. I guess she's just not seen her, so Eloise has died, and we've kept that information from Cecile. And then there's weird things going on in the art club. People are not being, all like they seem. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.